How do you turn a former Superfund site, contaminated with tons of lead, into an urban nature center and environmental education wildlife refuge? Well, if you want to find out, all you need to do is visit Nahant Marsh in the south side of Davenport. This is Professor Neil Hamilton from the Drake University Agricultural Law Center with today's Our Water, Our Land. I came to Davenport myself to see this powerful transformation and how working with nature can help restore a former Superfund site to a nature center. Nahant Marsh is one of the largest urban wetlands on the upper Mississippi River. It's a unique partnership between the city of Davenport and a nonprofit group, the Friends of Nahant. But the story goes back to the 1960s. At that time, this site was being used as a gun club, being used for trap and skeet shooting. But over the years, as that shooting deposited tons of lead into the marsh, concerns about the impact on wildlife began to grow. In the mid-1990s, reports of sickened waterfowl began to reach the Fish and Wildlife Service. The EPA investigated and in 1996 declared the Nahant Marsh a Superfund site, estimating that over 240 tons of lead shot had been deposited in the marsh. In 1999, EPA announced plans for a $2 million cleanup to dredge out soil and try to remove the marsh and return it to health and protect the safety of the wildlife and of the people who live nearby. The cleanup project took several years, but over that time, millions of pounds of soil was removed on a 13-acre site and over 140 tons of lead was recovered. The plan for moving forward with the Nahant Marsh involved a unique public-private partnership involving U.S. Fish and Wildlife, the Iowa Department of Natural Resources, the City of Davenport, and the Quad Cities. In 2003, the Friends of Nahant was formed to try to lead the local fundraising effort and provide the volunteers and staffing to run the Environmental Education Center. The results are impressive. Throughout the year, thousands of school children visit the Nahant Marsh and receive a first-hand education on the environment, studying the wildlife, the amphibians, the turtles, the mammals, and all of the critters that live here in this beautiful urban wildlife refuge. The staff at Nahant is using this location to experiment and demonstrate interesting environmental protection practices. For example, using this herd of goats to help clear the underbrush. Here you can see them doing their work. Each year, hundreds of citizens from Davenport and the surrounding area volunteer to help at Nahant Marsh. They help clean up the trash that can be deposited into the marsh and help volunteer with a variety of educational projects, classes, and outings. The story of the Nahant Marsh is a unique and powerful example of what a community and its citizens can do when they work together. In this case, to turn what had been an environmental damaged site into a location that can be used to think about and educate our future citizens of the role of nature and the environment. Nahant Marsh is a great example of what every community in Iowa could do if it faces a challenge involving the environment but wants to seek a better way. The folks at Nahant face many challenges, not just the siltation and water quality coming from uplands, but also the issue of flooding. This year alone has seen 6 different crests on the Mississippi River, as many as been experienced in the previous decade. As climate change and increasing rainfall sends more water down the river, Nahant Marsh will be important in helping demonstrate the future. But if history is any guide, the good citizens of Davenport and the Friends of Nahant Marsh will be able to pull together to surmount this challenge and continue a bright future for this unique property nestled on the south side of Davenport, just off Interstate 280. This has been Professor Neil Hamilton with today's Our Water, Our Land, a production of the Drake University Agricultural Law Center. coming to you from the beautifully restored Nahant Marsh on the south side of Davenport, Iowa in Scott County.